Primetime.
Primetime. What time is it? Showtime Primetime.
It's XL Primetime, featuring Joe C.
And then he couldn't fire his glutes later.
Matt Hayes.
I'm not running over the Barnett Tower and heaving myself off it.
And Leon Searcy.
Now, you come across that middle, you have some meat on your bone.
That's what we've been doing, sizing them up, seeing who's ready, who's fast, who's strong, who's ready for 2024. Training camp 3 days into it, and we are ready to go. XL Primetime, we got our head coach, Dave Campo, coming in early to hang out with us, and so we got plenty of things to react to, especially reacting to what happened yesterday with the picks in the red zone area, and then the offensive coordinator, Press Taylor, coming out today and describing what he thought was going down with those plays and that part of practice. So we'll get into all that today. But as we get things rolling, we're going to zero in on the Jags, of course, but we're also going to take a look at some of the storylines that are going on around the National Football League and some college football. A couple of Bulldogs in trouble up in Athens that we need to get in on. Dan Lanning going in on Kirby a little bit, so all sorts of things to get into. Big Sirs, Maddie, Coach, you guys were all out there taking it in today. Leon, you were missing yesterday because you were talking to the Pedro Menendez kids down there. But from day one to day three, what do you think?
Oh, well, day three, most of the stuff they were doing today was inside zone, outside zone, play action, screens, or stuff. So they were in the middle of the field. Like day one, that all the action was in the end zone because they were doing red zone plays or whatever. So today it was a little bit in the middle of the field, a little hard to kind of dissect on what guys were doing well a little bit. But everything, there seems to be some nice momentum by the offense, running the ball in the play action, all that kind of stuff. Trevor made some nice throws, off the play action. Some really good runs by ATN and Tank Bigsby. ATN shook somebody. Man, Coach was talking about this in the production. He shook someone out their boots. I mean, it was just nasty what they did. And Tank Bigsby, he had a play where he came inside and bounced outside on like an outside zone play, whatever. So I think the offense had some productivity today. It was a lot more energy, and I think that everybody's been talking about how fierce the defense has been over the last couple of days or whatever, but I think the offense, for the most part, held its own today.
Yeah, Matt, it kind of goes along the theme that Leon said yesterday is that you're going to get yours, I'm going to get ours, and basically both meeting rooms, they'll say, hey, what you going to do about this? What you going to do about this? You got to play tighter.
I don't think there's any – I'm sorry, Dave.
Go ahead.
I don't think there's any question. I agree with what you guys are saying. My whole thing is – and it was the same today too. It just doesn't look right out there, that's all, with 16. Doesn't mean it's not going to get better. It doesn't mean he won't be fine by the beginning of the season. I'm just telling you right now, 3 days in, now this is the third straight day. It just doesn't look right. It's a little off. There's something a little off.
Well, let me give just one example. And Matt and I are standing there, and Coach might have been right there. Anyway, they're throwing down at the other end of the field, and Evan Ingram is right across the middle where you want to hit your tight end. Maybe just looking at kind of, and this was not in team or anything like that, but you're kind of visualizing that's right just over the linebacker line. You can just throw right into that soft belly of the zone, and he threw behind him. And those are the and Trevor looked down, like just dropped his head for a second, like and you saw it, Coach.
Yeah. The interesting thing is that when they went to team, he had no incompletions, no drops or anything.
Yeah.
So some of it is because it's early in practice. But, again, I'm with Matt from the standpoint that I think he's been a little bit off. But I thought Press Taylor in the press conference today was talking about that they have made a decision to start off with the idea that we're going to put Trevor in some situations that he needs improvement in. And as opposed to just putting in a set group of stuff going forward, to give him an opportunity to show that he's going to work on those things. And some of it might be that, but I'm with you. I think there's been a little bit of
just a little off, right?
Just a little off, but I still have a lot of confidence in the kid.
Yeah, not the sweetest start to camp.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. I mean, because that you said that, Coach, because stress tests is what the coaches are doing. Some of the things that he may not have done so well last year, that maybe they're emphasizing it a little bit more so he can get more productive in those type of situations.
And you say that all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
How you get better is you look at the things that you have not done well, and you work on those things. And really, throwing the team and the quarterback into a red zone situation in the first 2 days of practice.
It's difficult.
That's stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as a defensive coach, I didn't really love being in the red zone defensively, but we felt we were going to win in the red zone if the team couldn't run the football. Because it's tough to throw down there with all those bodies in a condensed area.
Right, and to be fair, we'll get into this later in the show, is that's where they struggled last year. Not only on offense, but defense too, in the red zone.
Yep.
For me, I'd be running red zone every single practice. I'd be running red zone.
I think they'll be doing it a lot.
Now, I need to know this from Coach and from Big Searcy, because Press Taylor did say that we were trying to be good to their legs, not wear them out, not use the full field. I totally get that. That makes a lot of sense to me. But they went away from red zone today. And was it just a departure? Was it just a departure because it ain't going well? Or that's just the way, that's just what you
might be right. They wanted, if they hadn't had success over the last couple of days in the red zone, then maybe you get away from it a little bit, go in a team and put them in the middle of the field. They run
more room.
Give them a little bit more room. Today you saw a little outside zone, inside zone, saw the screenplay. Yeah, to take some of that pressure off you. So, a lot of those plays that they ran in team period were like in the middle of the field going into their end zone. So that's a way to give your offense a little bit more confidence than when in the red zone when they got their heads beat in.
The one thing about as a defensive coach, I wanted to win every practice. And, of course, the offensive coaches want to do the same thing.
Right.
The worst position you could be in is a head coach, because when one of them wins, you're upset with the other one. And then the other one wins, you're upset with the other one. Mm-hmm. It's a rough time in training camp when you're playing against yourselves.
All right, so let's just use that as our backdrop. And then, RJ, go ahead and hit us with it right now.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Now, where quarterbacks go, we all follow. You know that. We know that. You can't help but point it out, but I couldn't help but laugh. And RJ was quick to send this to us. 3 INTs in 4 plays for the Bills defense off Josh Allen in team portion of practice. So 3 picks in 4 plays. Now, we know he is the king of INTs, but he's also the king of getting it in the end zone. But anyway, I got a kick out of that.
That is funny. He is reckless. He is reckless with the ball, but somehow he finds a way to redeem himself in the game at some capacity. Yeah, but hey, listen.
He's also got a bit of a track record as a guy who's highly productive. Okay?
Yes. I'm
a
just
guy
saying.
who hasn't thrown 60 turnovers in the last,
I thought Taylor
first 3 seasons.
I thought Taylor did a great job earlier going through the number of picks, the number of touchdowns. The one thing that is shockingly clear is that he scores a lot. He can make up, or him leading his team can make up for mistakes. But they're not that far off when it comes to turnovers.
Matt Hayes, I know you're not giving Josh Allen the pass.
No, I'm not giving him a pass. I'm saying I understand the 3 interceptions. What I'm saying is, all right, he's also a guy who, by the way, has a track record of performing at a high level over a consistent period.
Okay.
Trevor does not have that track record right now.
Not right now.
Not right now. You're right. Okay.
And so all I'm looking for right now is just is where they're going to go from here.
In a similar situation, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but it was reported that the new MVP, Stroud, down at Houston, was 4 for 12. So,
that I think is a little more comparable to Trevor. As in a guy who really doesn't have the resume behind him yet. The skin's in the wall,
Exactly.
To use the old cliche, yes, absolutely.
Well, I feel like when we're talking about this offense, and you can go back in time and you can think of what they couldn't do, and now they really are kind of maybe I would go ahead and say crossroads, because they're trying to figure out, what can we do? Remember this, Coach. I'll remind you of this. Press Taylor last year basically indicated to you, and you shared conversations with us, that it's Trevor's team. We want to take this offense where he can take us. In other words, we're asking him for input. Let this be his piece of clay. Is that not right? And now they're still at a crossroads trying to figure that part out.
And again, the defenses are ahead at this point in time. That's
what you should expect.
Common knowledge, because it's easier to play defense. A lot of it is just being in the right spot and going full speed. Whereas on offense, it's a finesse game. You have to give a little bit of ground for that. But I'm still of the mindset that Doug Peterson, I was told that Doug Peterson told Ryan Nielsen that I want to put Trevor in stressful situations.
That's what you want.
So that he shows that, here's what I have to do better. If I have a bad day, I've got to correct it the next day. And so it's really a coaching philosophy kind of, let's get the quarterback ready to go. And that's Doug Peterson.
And Coach, that's the only way you get better. You got to be uncomfortable. There's nothing great achieved in your comfort zone. If you make it easy for Trevor, it's not going to be easy in the game because the defense coordinator already picks up on your tendencies. He already knows where you like to roll, where you like to pass, how your progression, all that kind of stuff. So if you stress him out now, that's going to even make it better for him. Yeah. Matt and I was talking about this yesterday, that Trevor rolling to his left has issues throwing the ball when he's rolling to his left. So as defensive coordinators, if you know that, because you got the percentages on his completions to the left, to the right, in the middle, so what are you going to do? You're going to bring the blitz on the right side to force him outside to where he struggles throwing to his left.
So you got to work the left.
Might as well work the left. Absolutely. And yesterday when he threw those 2 interceptions, you said where? Where was he rolling? To the left. There it goes.
Yeah.
You got to do it.
And so you have to self-scout. You got to be smart. You got to be honest. You got to do all those things. But a couple of other things that I'm looking at, and let's just, we definitely have laid out the quarterback. You guys can jump in on the text line, Design by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010. You can get in the chat. YouTube, it is always streaming. 1010XL, you can find XL Primetime and offer up your thought. But I'm looking at a lot more possibilities in terms of playmaking. You mentioned the ETN play. They definitely have some. It's the opportunities to get the football to an Ingram, an ETN, a Kirk. And today we saw Devin Duvernay, who I talked to after practice, in that slot position making some plays. You see a lot of guys that are in position, Leon, getting down the field, using every bit of the field to try and make sure this offense does create some amps.
I mean, you got guys, they're trying to get jobs, bro. Yeah. They got to get jobs. I mean, Duvernay he's in a position where, they're going to keep, 5, 6 receivers?
I mean, 6, I would say. 6
is the most. I mean, he's got to make an impact. In practice, when we do these inter-squad drills against Tampa Bay in a couple of weeks, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's good to see the young cats making plays because listen, out of sight, out of mind. If you ain't making plays, they forget about you real quick. And if you're not making plays, the coaches cut down on your reps. So you got to get film. You got to get reps out there. You got to be productive while you're out there. If you're not, the coach is going. I'll tell you what. When the coaches quit calling your name, that's where you need to be. That's when you need to be worried.
That's when you got a problem.
That's when you got a problem.
When they're yelling at you, it's fine.
When they're yelling at you, fine. But when they stop calling your name, hey, you might as well pack your bags.
Hey,
time to go home.
As long as a coach is coaching you, you're okay. If he stops coaching you, you're in trouble. That's exactly right.
They just look at him and go, "Turn, he's hopeless." And that kind of deal.
Exactly.
And then you're done.
I heard you do the interview with Duvernay, and I thought he kind of said the same thing from the standpoint that, hey, I want to be more involved in the offense than I was at Baltimore.
Yeah, and I'm just telling you, when you see him, he's cat quick.
Oh, and he's built now.
Yeah, he's put together, and obviously Christian Kirk owns that spot. There's no question about it. But I'll just immediately say, as a matter of fact, RJ, let's make this 10-10 tape because we're talking camp battles, position, rooms. How many are they going to carry all that stuff?
Now, Joe C's 10-10 tape. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pit masters since '68.
Sonny's Real Pit Barbecue. Dinner tonight. It's Friday, right? Just go ahead and crank. You did your 40-hour work week. Just roll right on through there. Pick up some delicious chicken, pork, turkey, brisket, whatever they served to you, you're going to enjoy. Make sure you check it out for dinner, lunch, or planning a party. Check out Sonny's. So I'm thinking there are camp battles everywhere, of course. But Parker Washington was drafted last year and was seen as a guy who might be able to step in for Christian Kirk. He was also seen as a guy who would step in and offer special teams help. Devin Duvernay is that cat right now, okay? And Devin Duvernay, at least for my money, right now looks like the guy that's going to be ahead of the other guy. Now, he's a free agent. Yeah, they paid him money. So you would have to expect they want to get him on the football field. Punt returns, kick returns, we know how valuable he's going to be. He's the newest Jamal Agnew for this football team. But then beyond that, being in that slot position and maybe getting his share of plays. He only had 4 catches last year up in Baltimore, but trust me on this, he can make plays. That's the 10-10 take. I don't think there's any reason to think that he can't be involved.
Yeah, I mean, he can. I mean, we're definitely going to use him on special teams for the most part. But yeah, if he can get in there and relieve a guy and make a big play here and there. I mean, Agnew, when he was here, I mean, he made plays and then cost us plays. But let's stay on the positive. But he did. But if you can get a special teams guy to come in there and utilize his speed to make a big play, yeah, I'm all for it. Absolutely.
If he could become what, let's say what Zay Jones was just a guy with the Raiders, Zay got out there and was put in position to make plays and caught 70 balls. When he was healthy, he was a productive player for this team, a good player, I would say, for this team.
Right.
I think if Duvernay, with that speed, if you can put him in that position and he becomes a number 3 type guy, he absolutely can have that kind of production. I don't think there's any question about that. I don't think he's certainly not the big receiver that Zay was. Zay was a big target.
Yeah.
Zay was a big third down target. But he's one of those guys that coach loves. He's one of those guys that can run that little drag over the middle.
Yeah.
When everybody else is going vertical, you get him the ball, and he's going to make people miss.
Yeah, and by the way, that jet sweep, he'll be king of that too. There's no question about it. All right, we keep it rolling. Cycles of Jacksonville Friday. Don't forget, Big Hair Heavy Metal. You guys can throw some song suggestions RJ's way, 641-1010. But just thank you to Cycles of Jacksonville. Off-road, on-road. They got 2-wheel, 4-wheel fun, and they also got it on the water with Honda and those Coach pontoon boats. Make sure you check it all out at Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency.
XL Primetime's Coach Dave Campo is brought to you by Bold City Heating and Air. Online at boldcityac.com. The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Now, a 1010XL Summer Olympic Update brought to you by
USAPark.net Airport Parking.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games, sponsored by Napa. Elevate your engine performance with Napa Full Synthetic Engine Oil. The opening ceremonies are officially underway as more than 10,000 athletes representing 206 countries set sail down the Seine River. LeBron James will be the first men's basketball player to be flag bearer for Team USA.
I understand how prestigious, this moment is, and for someone to have to be the flag bearer and to wave the flag for not only for us as a men's national team, but for all the Olympians. I hold that with the utmost honor and super appreciative and super humble about it.
LeBron, courtesy of USA Basketball. This is the 39-year-old's 4th Olympic appearance, seeing Team USA open play on Sunday against Serbia. With this Summer Games update, I'm Brad Heller, Westwood One Sports.
Looking for a way to elevate your engine's performance? Start with Napa Full Synthetic Engine Oil. It provides faster oil flow for hot and cold temperature protection in the harshest driving conditions. Regular use can help your engine run cleaner and longer by defending against sludge and buildup, improving overall engine performance and fuel efficiency while increasing the time between oil changes. Make the switch without slowing down. Feed your ride Napa Full Synthetic Engine Oil. Available now at Napa locations nationwide.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do the Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
At Garber Auto Mall, we can wiggle it. Best price, we can wiggle it. Best trade value, we can wiggle it. Best payment, we can wiggle it. Ford, Chevy, Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, with 8 American brands, we can wiggle it. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or online at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there's always a little room for wiggle.
Do the Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
Hey there, all you sports dads rocking the best dad bod possible. We love seeing you eat tacos by the handful, and we love it when you bring your kids here too. For years, Lucy claimed that her favorite thing on the menu was sopapillas, the big scoop ice cream. I know that's not a taco, but that never stopped her. I was shooting for Dad of the Year anyway, so I just let it happen. Taco Lu's a great place to bring the family. There's something for everyone, as long as it starts with a taco. And a margarita for mom is always a good thing. At Taco Lu in Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
1010XL gives you non-stop sports talk all week.
You got a point.
And we take you into the weekend.
What's this about?
Join Compton and Company noon to 2 Saturdays for more conversation about the teams you care about most.
Oh!
On 1010XL.
Ready to drive away with a fortune? Join us at Best Bet St. Augustine for our Fairways to Fortune giveaway. Over $30,000 in prizes are up for grabs, including a top-of-the-line 6-seater golf cart. Join us July 27th at Best Bet St. Augustine for the big giveaway and hourly cash drawings. Come play and win big at Best Bet St. Augustine, located on State Road 207, seconds away from the I-95 exit. Visit bestbetjax.com for details. That's bestbetjax.com, and we'll see you in St. Augustine.
Did you know a metal roof from Prime Roofing has the highest wind and impact ratings available? If you want a stronger roof, think metal. Think Prime Roofing. Learn more at primeroofingfl.com. That's primeroofingfl.com.
Hun, the drain really smells.
Yeah, wow, it does.
I think it's getting backed up. What should we do? Did you just quack like a duck?
Yes, I did. Duck Rooter, your plumbing pros in Northeast Florida. Need help with a plumbing issue at your home or business? Just call the Duck.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Go to WM.com.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and now that you have Honda boats on the showroom floor, tell them about the big boat sale.
We are excited. We got a big sale, 11th through 13th. You want to come on down, see us in person. Some of our boats are going to be up to $30,000 off.
Up to $30,000 off?
$30,000 in savings. It's a big sale event.
So they can start shopping online at cyclesofjacksonville.com. The size of the boats?
Anywhere from 19 to 24 foot, all with legendary Honda outboards.
Honda and Coach, check them both out on Atlantic near Regency. Cycles of Jacksonville.
Friday on The Franchi Show. Tune in for the House Call segment brought to you by Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Rehab. Join the discussion as a JOI expert tells you about hip replacements. JOI, where the pros go.
The coolers are full at your local Gate gas station, making it easy for you to cruise in and cruise out with little downtime. Ice cold Coronas, Natty Light, Stella Artois, and Michelob Ultra. Don't forget the king of beers, Cold Buds. Gate's got them in the cooler, waiting for you.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's a big hair, heavy metal Friday on XL Primetime.
Bring us some good rock and roll suggestions. RJ, the DJ, will handle it for you. Cycles of Jacksonville, they love to rock, whether they're out on the road with a beautiful bike, off-road, or on the water with that new Honda boat. Check it all out, Cycles of Jacksonville. headfirst.com. So a little heavy metal doesn't have to be. Could be any rock and roll suggestion. We absolutely love it. That's for sure. All right, now we're trying to drill down on a lot of different storylines for your Jacksonville Jaguars and the rest of the National Football League, because we're looking around and seeing all the other ones as far as what they're doing. There's once again drama in Dallas, even though where do they go out there? Southern California,
Oxnard,
Coach?
Yeah. Oxnard, yeah. There's always drama out there. Jerry's come on just recently and said, look, I know everybody's criticizing me about CD Lamb and this and that. I've been taking criticism for 30 years. You think it bothers me? No.
And you got Micah and CD Lamb, Leon, that want to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the National Football League. And every guy that peaks before their contract is up, they want to get the cash.
Yeah, and they should get the cash. They should get the bag. It's just a matter of the organization finding the right time and time. Listen, the Cowboys want to pay both of them, all right? But it may not be time. But, when you got good young talent like that, I was looking at a stat, they were saying that CD Lamb over the first 4 years is probably the fourth best productive wide receiver in his first 4 years. And it was up there with names like Randy Moss and Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
So, the kid has proven that he's elite. And Micah Parsons, who's more disruptive than him?
The Cowboys have been pushing money for a long time. What happens is eventually it catches up to you, okay?
Yeah.
But Jerry did say in that little conversation that he had, you guys don't think I can add and subtract? So he was getting. Hey, he will weather the storm, believe me.
Oh yeah, but he was getting clobbered because just take a look at what Philadelphia was able to do. They signed 2 wide receivers, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. They made sure they paid Jalen Hurts a year ago. They went out and signed some other big talent to come into Philly, and that's inside the NFC East. So everyone's trying to do that, that classic measuring stick of can we secure and procure more talent and keep them here.
Well, people don't understand the money push. If you're just a normal person that's out there as a fan, you keep pushing the money out, and eventually you don't have enough at the end. And you hope that you're going to. I guarantee you, 12. What have they been? 12 and 4, and now 12 and 5, whatever for the last 3 years. They're pushing money because they think they can go to the Super Bowl during those years, and it just doesn't. Eventually it catches up to you.
Yeah, can't help but add it up again. And I know all of Duval loves this because this is how long Dallas hasn't gotten something done, and it's been as long as this franchise has been around. We're doing the 30-year celebration this year, and you got the throwbacks and all that kind of stuff. But the last conference championship appearance for the Dallas Cowboys was 1995. That's the 4th longest active drought. The other thing I didn't realize, 13 straight playoff appearances without making the conference championship. So they make it on a regular basis.
Right.
They just haven't gotten there, and then you got a bunch of one-and-dones since 1996. That was the first year Jacksonville got to the AFC Championship game. Right. Dallas has had 8 one-and-done playoff appearances since then. That is a lot. And it's hard enough to get there, correct? Hard enough to get there, but then hard enough to even win a game.
Yeah, it is hard to get the conference championship. Listen, I'm 1-3 in conference championships. so I've had my invitation, but I've only gotten to the chip one time. So it's difficult just to get there. But to sustain it, so that's what's so much impressive about the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs, man, it doesn't make any sense over the last 4 or 5 years they've made it to the conference championship. And then going on to the Super Bowls, or just make the conference championship. That's a tough ordeal.
Well, Buffalo Bills back in the day went 4 years in a row to the Super Bowl. That's unbelievable.
Yes.
We didn't do that. They lost them all. But, it's
I think you'd rather go 3 or 4 and win all 3 of them is what you'd rather do.
Exactly. Yeah. But the biggest thing is that when you're winning like that, Joe, which they have been winning.
Yeah.
It's not like they're a losing team. You think if I just get this guy and I give, cut his, give him a few more years,
right,
to get the money right, you do it all the time, and they've been doing it for so long that it's diminishing returns at the end.
All right, so a couple of other things that you guys caught during camp today, Matt, just things that jumped out at you, because what we're trying to figure out is where these these battles are going to unfold and take place. We're watching a little bit of the linemen. We don't have pads on just yet, but at least I'm starting to see a little more of what I like along the line.
So I was talking with David about this, and we can get further into this later in the show. The edge, still, there's questions on the edge. Other than the two guys who are just rocks there, who do you got on the edge behind Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen? I mean, that's a big question, I think. I don't know that you've got a legit guy on that spot right now. You can move guys around. You can move Armstead out there.
Right.
Let's see what happens with Gibson when the pads come on. There's a rookie you're going to look at. There's a couple second-year guys with Lacey you could look at. I don't know what's there right now.
Well, Coach and I were talking about this in the production meeting, and he was talking about defense coordinator Nielsen, that when he was with Atlanta, he moved Calais outside, who was an interior defensive tackle.
A lot like Armstead.
Armstead. So I wouldn't be surprised, as Coach was saying, he wouldn't be surprised if they move Armstead out there sometimes, kind of in a rotation, kind of like a Chris Jones, who's usually an interior defensive tackle, but moves out there to defensive end when you feel that there's a mismatch. So that might be an option.
The one thing that Nielsen has shown me when I watched the Atlanta film last year, he's really big on putting who's the weakness of the offensive lineman. Put your best guy. That's why I think Trayvon Walker, for example, there's going to be times when he's going to be down on a guard, somebody that they feel like they can exploit. But I also believe that if one of those, from what I've seen at this point, there's going to be role players like Abdullah, for example, might be a third-string pass rusher at times. He hasn't shown yet what he can do either, but that's an example. But also a guy like Armstead, if one of those guys goes down, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Armstead didn't start at defensive end. That's what they with Calais Campbell last year. He had him inside and outside, and whatever. I think that's going to be his deal.
And the secondary, I'm trying to figure out early on where the deepest room is and the most possibilities. And it does seem like the secondary, based on what Ronald Darby said yesterday, he said there are guys stepping up everywhere, making plays, and that's what you want, because they have definitely proven in a short amount of time that they have active hands. They are not going to sit back and let plays be made in front of him. I'm telling you, in front of them, I think that is the most important thing so far that I've seen in camp. They are not going to be that, all right, let's keep it in front of us, the old umbrella defense, because we've seen that way too many times.
I feel like that. I think that they've got a good group. There's going to be a lot of competition at corner, in my opinion, with Jurian Jones and Darby and, Monteric Brown. Those guys are all athletic, and Brown did a good job last year, and he's an interceptor. He's one of those guys that finds the football. But so the addition of Savage, they brought in guys that are guys that can run and play the position. The other position that I really like, that I think is going to be a kind of a stacked room, has to be proven, is the interior defensive line. I think they've got some guys there with Mason Smith and Jefferson, and with Hamilton back. You got Harris. They got some guys that can play. And that position there, I think, is going to be a good one for us.
All right, we'll keep it rolling. I'm going to turn you guys loose. I'm headed for the 3M Open with PGA Tour, but you guys will have it till 4 o'clock this afternoon. Keep hanging with us. You guys can jump in on the text line, 641-1010. Let us know what you're thinking, especially if you were out at camp today.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealers Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. Some people call it X.
What?
Some still call it Twitter.
Okay, I got it.
Whatever you call it, it's the best place for up-to-the-minute Jags coverage from 1010XL.
Hey folks, it's Jennifer Marion. Randy Marion Cadillac is the pinnacle of luxury in the First Coast area.
And guess what? We've got the all-new Cadillac Lyriq with $16,000 off MSRP.
That's right. You pick the color and drive away today in ultimate style.
Experience the future of driving with the Cadillac Lyriq. Electric, elegant, and exhilarating.
Visit us online at RandyMarionCadillacofJacksonville.com or come see us on Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
Don't miss out on this unbeatable deal. Plus tax tag title, $8.99 admin fee and resist all.
Tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Mia here, and we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino?
canceled because real life came calling. MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. The live casino is so easy to use. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action's in the palm of your hands and you don't even need to wear pants. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL. A revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. Sign up and hit the casino with promo code 1010XL. The more you play, the more you win, only with MyBookie.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm dedicated to helping businesses manage risk, maximize opportunities, and move their company forward. Jimerson Burr attorneys are business-oriented lawyers equally comfortable as community leaders, private transaction counselors, or courtroom advocates. If you have a legal issue of any kind affecting your business, contact the firm at 389-0050 or jimersonfirm.com.
Do you have clicking, popping, swelling, or pain in your knee or shoulder? This can be due to arthritic changes in your joints. Over time, you have wear and tear of your cartilage. I am Dr. George Bari, and here at Bari Orthopedics, we have numerous ways to treat your arthritis, such as regenerative medicine, including PRP and joint replacements with CT guidance for accuracy down to the millimeter. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, call us for an appointment today, or log on to BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Price, I'm thinking about changing my name.
Again? You're already the media mogul, the straw that stirs the drink, the Duke of Pablo Bay. Now what?
Refer to me as Dreamfinders Danny Hicken.
What in the blazes? Is this a cash grab?
No, it's just that I believe so much in Dreamfinders Homes. 20 locations in Northeast Florida, official home builder of Jags and Gators. Great opportunity for first-time homeowners.
All right. Dreamfinders Danny it is.
Did I mention the lowest interest rates you can find? Visit DreamfindersHomes.com. Now let Dreamfinders Danny celebrate through the majesty of song. Dreamfinders, I believe they will build your home just right.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
July 26, 2005. Baseball Hall of Famer Greg Maddux records his 3,000th career strikeout against the Giants.
Certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us, but for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy. Higher interest rates, 401ks, but I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners. Always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
Hey, Jacksonville Cougars, it's me, Soccer Sam, for Salvatore's Pizza. Rochester, New York's favorite pizza is now open in Jacksonville, Florida, Tapestry Park at the Loft Hotel Plaza. Daily $10 deals, dine-in with beer and wine, and delivery at Salvatore's.com. The famous Formoso family brings Salvatore's Pizza, Rochester's favorite pizza, including our 32-piece sheet pizza for your next event. Do it with me, baby. Salvatores.com.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
The Sunshine State says it all in the nickname. That summer sun in Florida can take its toll on an air conditioning unit and send your electric bill through the roof. Florida Home AC can help you handle the heat with a brand new AC unit with low monthly payments and over $3,000 in federal tax credits on select systems. So this summer, don't sweat it out. Cool off with Florida Home AC, the official AC company of the Jaguars. Call them today, 777-4300, and check out their tremendous savings on a brand new AC system.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's a big hair, heavy metal Friday on XL Primetime.
We've got some really good red zone teachers. Chris Richard is phenomenal.
Learned a lot from him in the red zone. We've got just some philosophy things that have success against offenses. And then really our players do a really good job understanding situational football in the red zone.
All right, we're back on XLP. Matt Hayes, Leon Searcy, Dave Campo, RJ, producing it all. Josie had to go do some PGA Tour work. All right, so let's look at this thing now from a standpoint of the defensive red zone, okay? Because we've been talking for a day and a half now about Trevor in the offensive red zone. And I think to Round Nielsen's point is, look, the red zone D, the key to red zone D, and you can talk about this because you are a DC, you are a former NFL head coach, the better pressure you get, the more pressure you get, the hell of a lot easier to play red zone D, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you have to get the ball out quick because if you do offensively, if you get pressure, it forces the ball out quick, and there's a lot of players in that restricted area defensively. I really enjoyed watching them in the red zone yesterday because the defense has a pretty good idea what they're doing. The thing that impressed me was the offense was running a lot of bunch routes, and it looked like we were playing the bunch routes the way you're supposed to play them, which to me,
passing off then.
Yeah, well, just a whole idea of how to line up against it and this and that. You know, that's something I've been complaining about for 3 years, and we didn't know how to play a bunch.
Right.
So I think they're doing some good coaching. Chris Richard was in Dallas when I was there doing TV work at the end before I went to USC for a couple of years. He's really good, and he understands the red zone defensively. And I think he's a big factor in there. You know, the one thing about Nielsen is that when you watch him in the practices, he doesn't move very far away from that defensive front.
Yeah.
You got to have somebody on the back end that knows what he's doing. And they have Chris Richard is a good one for that. And I thought they did a nice job in there yesterday, the day before.
All right, Leon, as a player, as a former player, what stressed you the most as an offense in the red zone as far as looking at the defense and dealing with the defense?
Because you had to block longer as offensive lineman. I mean, listen, the defense has an extra defender, which is the out of bounds.
The end zone.
The end zone that's another defender. So as offensive line play, as far as they're going to bring the house, they're going to put some kind of pressure on you because they want you to get rid of the football. So you're going to you might see all different kind of schemes of blitzes and stunts and dogs and all that kind of stuff because they're trying to get the ball out the quarterback's hand. Because the quicker they can get out of his hand, the quicker they can make him indecisive to where he makes mistakes. So you turn the ball over. So it's a lot of pressure on you up front to make sure that you stop all the chaos, the controlled chaos that's coming at you because your quarterback. You don't want him to make a discussion. The last thing you want to do is turn the ball over in the red zone.
Right.
Yeah, so you want him to take care of the ball, but he's got so much pressure, he's having to think faster and react faster because you got a lot more coming at you.
All right, so pressure anywhere on the field, okay?
Leon's not the guy to ask about that because with the Steelers especially, they ran the ball inside the 20-yard line.
Right,
and that's what puts the pressure on the defense right there.
I think we've made very clear that with the middle three here, running the ball inside the red zone may not be an option. All right, so then this reverts all the way back to what we were talking about at the end of last segment. I want to get deeper into it in this segment. Is where do you get that pressure from now? If you know you've got it with Trayvon Walker, you know you've got it with Josh Hines-Allen, where do you get that in the red zone where it's got to be specific? And do you start to dial up some exotic stuff to specifically confuse them because that's the area where everything matters, right?
Yeah, what you do down there is, you want, just like Leon said, as a defense, you want to force them to get rid of the ball quickly. You don't have to cover very long. So the more pressure, you're going to dial up some things. You're going to check the protections and all that kind of stuff. The problem is you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Right.
That's why the running game is so important down there because if you got a blitz going and you crack the blitz, there's nobody there. You're in the end zone before you could even, shake a stick at it. It's not like the 50-yard line where a guy can break a 10-yard run and you line back up and play. So you have to be careful doing that pressure as well. And to me, I think you find out, what their protection is, and you go after them a little bit. But it's nothing exotic where you're bringing a lot of people, because you don't want to just sit there with.
It's just where they're coming from, is what it is.
It's where
more
you're
than
coming from.
And you have said many times, you've talked about this, the specific coverage you like to run in Dallas. When you got in the red zone, it wasn't bump and run. You'd play 5 yards off and bump and run, right?
The quarter coverage was, and that's what they're doing here right now. Just watching them, they're running our scheme a lot with the 4-3.
So they're running 5 yards off the receivers, and they've got safeties behind them, basically.
Right, and that's when it gets, the low red. When it's high red, 20-yard line in, they can still throw a fade route on you, and
drop it in
outrun
between.
you if you try to undercut everything. Mm-hmm. Whereas when it gets down there around the 12-yard line, that's when we started sitting off and waiting for them to come, and then play what you see.
Hey, man, don't get me wrong. If you're an offensive line that runs the ball, you want the defense to blitz you on the red zone.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you catch them, it's to the house. It is to the house.
Right.
They cross dog and they're running sprint. They're running stunts and everything like that. All you do is you stay on your track. You stay on your track.
Right?
You stay on your track, and next thing you know, that running back is right up the middle.
I don't know why you asked him about what they do against the passing game down there.
In Pittsburgh, we ran the ball. We were a good running team back in those days. So if we get in the red zone, we're not looking to pass.
But it's rare that people do, like the 49ers run in the red zone.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But it's rare now in the league where you've got teams that run in the end zone. I mean, I guess the Eagles do somewhat, especially with Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
But it's rare, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the 49ers still have a fullback.
I was just going to say that.
They still got a fullback.
The difference is they're all one-back sets.
Yep.
And that's not the easiest way to run, especially power game, which is really what you want down there.
Right.
You got to we got to use a guy like Strange or one of these guys and move them in and be involved in the run game, because we're not a power running team, but you have to be able to control the line of scrimmage. That's a concern we have about the offensive line.
Right.
Yeah.
We've got to be able to run the football down there to take the pressure off the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, we can run trap plays if you motion tight ends to wham the nose guard.
Yeah.
Now his back gonna hurt when you hit him, but he's got to get it done. I mean, those type of plays you got to have those type of plays in the red zone. You can't just be pass happy in the red zone, because you turn the ball over at 3 points. 3 points is 3 points, but you lose by 7.
Right.
You got to score touchdowns in this league. You know what I'm saying? So you got to score touchdowns. Field goals are good, but they're unacceptable if you're down that close and you don't score touchdowns.
Everybody says the defense is under pressure down there, but in reality, you don't have a problem in the red zone defensively, other than if they can control the ball with the running game. And then every once in a while, you just make a play fake and hit one of the guys. I mean, that's how it works down there.
So I guess we got into this in the red zone because they struggled in the red zone defense last year, but also because of the pass rush. And we were watching, again, the idea of who it's going to be on the outside, who it could be on the edge. We were watching the linebackers again. And to me, this is just me, and it just looks like Devin Lloyd still is kind of in he doesn't look comfortable kind of situation in coverage.
Yeah,
I've maintained all along, just stick him on the edge and say, get the quarterback. Man.
See, I think they're going to do some things like that, personally. I really think, like I said earlier, Nielsen is the guy who's going to find out. He said it in the press conference. He said, our job right now is to find out the skill set of every one of our players. Every player, there are very few of them, the Deion Sanders or guys like that, whoever it is, that they're great at this, they're great at this, they're great at this, and they're great at this.
Right.
Most of them are great at this, pretty good at this, good at this, not so good at that.
Right.
Well, you find the guys that are great at something, then put them in that situation. Let them be in a situation where they can do what they do best.
Allow them to reach their ceiling.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's kind of my point. I'm not picking on Devin Lloyd. I think Devin Lloyd's an uber talent, man. Yeah. I loved it when they picked him.
Yeah.
I just think he's got to be in the right position.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Devin Lloyd, I mean, he's not quite this guy because he hasn't shown to rush the passer. But when Chad Brown came to the Steelers, Chad Brown was a will linebacker. All right, he was a will linebacker, but also they understood that he was elusive and can rush the passer. And guess what? On third down situations, guess who was outside you?
Bring him off the edge.
Yeah, so
Bro,
you
I'm
had
telling
Chad
you
Brown.
right now,
Chad Brown, yeah.
If the Steelers had drafted Devin Lloyd, he's 2 years in, he'd probably have like 17, 18 career sacks right now. I'm telling you, he would.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen him. He's bigger
Well,
again
well,
this
let me
year.
ask you this-
He's a big dude who can run.
So now let me ask you a question. Now, when he was at Utah, did he ever play the outside end, or did he just blitz from linebacker?
No, he played everywhere. They lined him up everywhere,
Played
all
over
along the
place.
front
Well, you
seven.
got to utilize him because Chad Brown, when he was at Colorado, he was a will linebacker, but he rushed on certain passing down situations, and that's why the Steelers were attracted to him. So when he goes to Pittsburgh, what do you think's happened? They put him at the will linebacker, but when it came down third down situations, Chad Brown was on the outside.
They stuck
rushing.
him. He was at the will. He was at the Sam. He played from the Mike. He stood in the A gap and was just killing people at Utah.
You got to use him.
Yep. And
You gotta
that's
utilize him.
kind of what Nielsen was talking about, and I think he's pretty good at that. I think the staff knows pretty good about protections and all that kind of stuff because he got the most out of guys that are average pass rushers, but there were a lot of them.
Right.
This guy had 7. That guy had 6. This guy had 8. That guy,
Yeah.
he's pretty good at attacking pressures and all that.
And here's an interesting thing that I noticed in practice, that when they had the defensive ends over there working individual drills, he was nowhere around. I mean, you can't just stick him there without.
Right. You can't just say, "Hey, go get the quarterback."
Exactly.
Right.
You got to put him in situations.
You gotta give him
You know what I'm saying? So when you watch the practices, when you watch the individual drills, right? He's not down there with the outside rushers at no capacity.
The outside backers.
The outside backers, yeah.
He did do one thing though. They had a turnover circuit today,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them was coming off the edge and then recognizing a bootleg or a waggle where the guy's coming back and in, getting up, getting hands up. He was doing that.
Okay.
They were all doing that.
Right.
That was just a turnover circuit. They just rotated around and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't know if they'll use him outside. I know that 4-3, you can blitz the inside backers pretty good. I'm sure they'll use what everybody else is using, where they put them both up in the A gaps. They put the linebackers up in the A gaps, and one of them comes, the other one drops.
Right.
Everybody has those, except us last year. We didn't do it. But that's something that I think he could do. He doesn't necessarily have to be lined up as the outside guy every time to get some power.
I'll also tell you this, by the way, and I'm not picking on him again, Chad Muma also has problems in coverage, and also was a guy in college who could get the quarterback. You're talking about a guy that's 6'4", 245, 250. Stick him on the edge.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to play some undersized guy all the way out at the 7 or the 9, stick those two guys out there.
Well, he is a 7. He is going to be rushing the passer because in base, he's the guy that's going to line up on the tight end. So he's going to be rushing off the tight end side. So
how many times is he going to rush in base, though?
I don't know.
Right.
I mean, boy, he's got to rush if they throw it.
So my hope is, from what you said, it sounds like it's going to be this, that the early stages of camp right now on defense, and I know we got to go to a break, RJ, hang on. The early stages of camp on defense are going to be, let's find out where these guys fit instead of saying, put him there.
Correct.
And I think that's a very good sign for guys like Devin Lloyd and Chad Muma.
Yeah,
All
no
right.
question.
We're going to get much deeper into that. 3 o'clock hour coming up. We've got Randy Cross, former 49ers great, all-pro center. Does some college football analyst work for CBS Sports Network. We'll get into that and a whole lot more. It's XLP.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
How bad do you really feel?
I feel pretty good, actually. Why is that?
Well, all we had was
1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and
But She's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
What's colder, the North or the South Pole? The answer coming up.
Filing any homeowner's claim is really easy with Southern Oak Insurance. Simply file your claim directly with us. We'll handle the vendors. It will save money for you.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The South Pole is colder than the North Pole, which is an ocean surrounded by land. The South Pole is land surrounded by ocean.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Baseball is back. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, presented by FIS, takes the field this season at 1-1 Financial Ballpark as the AAA affiliate of the Miami Marlins. Tickets start at just $5, fireworks after every Friday home game, and kids run the bases after every Sunday game. JackShrimp.com. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable, family fun.
Calling all disc golf enthusiasts. Play It Again Sports Jacksonville wants your used discs. Now through June 29th, earn cash on the spot plus $5 in sports bucks for every $25 of disc golf gear we buy. Play It Again Sports also stocks new discs from your favorite brands like Innova, Discraft, Discmania, and more. Stop in today and shop our huge selection. Merrill Road near 295 in the Merrill Station Shopping Plaza or online at playitagainjacks.com.
Soccer fans, don't miss your chance to see teams from the English Premier League compete in the Stateside Cup right here in Jacksonville. Competition will be fierce when Wolves and West Ham United take the pitch under the lights at Everbank Stadium July 27th. It's Premier Soccer at a premier venue for one night only. Tickets are going fast. Buy yours today at statesidecup.com.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and summer is here on the First Coast. You know, long days, short sleeves, and soaring temperatures that can do a number on your AC. If you've heard me say it once, you've heard me say it 1,000 times. Hope is not a plan, so do what I did and plan ahead with an expert AC tune-up from Fenwick Home Services to avoid those costly summer breakdowns. Fenwick has you covered with same-day service, including maintenance plans, free same-day estimates, and guaranteed repairs. Book your expert tune-up today and avoid costly breakdowns tomorrow. Plan ahead instead of hoping for the best. Online at FenwickHomeservices.com. That's FenwickHomeservices.com.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Hey there, weekend warriors. It's Matt Hayes. Sick of that slice? Tired of those three putts? What if I told you your handicap isn't about your swing, it's about your weight? Why not take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with the Waco 180? We're talking 10 strokes off by August, getting your tour card by September, winning your first major, year one. Think about it. Fame, fortune, and most important, winning $5 off your buddy because you, sir, are closest to the pin. Taking strokes off your game is just about 40 pounds away at Awaken180weightloss.com. Awaken 180 does not guarantee an immediate 10 strokes off your score, receiving a tour card, or the ability to control the weather. Individual results may vary. Your newfound athleticism might cause jealousy among your foursome, leading to accusations of steroid use. Awaken is not responsible for defending your honor in the clubhouse. Awaken 180 cannot guarantee that your newfound golf prowess will lead to a sponsorship deal, but we can't not guarantee it either. Awaken 180 is not responsible for any dramatic fist pumps or unsolicited golf tips you give to strangers. Awaken 180 does not offer refunds for any lost wagers made on your improved golf game. Bet wisely, my friend.
strokes off your game by dropping pounds off your frame. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Ackerman Cancer Center's Total Body MRI is the latest technology in early detection. This comprehensive imaging goes beyond regular scans, providing a holistic view of your health in one 60-minute scan. Schedule your Total Body MRI at AckermanCancerCenter.com.
I'm Max Fink here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp returned to action tonight after yesterday's game was rained out. The Shrimp will take on the Norfolk Tides on the road in Virginia. First pitch will be at 5:35 with right-handed pitcher Evan Fitterer on the bump. Georgia Bulldogs senior wide receiver Ra Thomas was arrested early this morning in Athens on a felony charge of cruelty to children. Thomas, who is now unlikely to suit up for the team's Week 1 game against Clemson. Thomas is now the third Bulldog to be arrested in July alone. The Jaguars unveiled new shell white alternate helmets on social media yesterday, which they will be debuting Week 10 when they take on the Minnesota Vikings. It's 88 degrees at 2:59. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Dave Campo. Yeah, we're getting after it. It's Friday. It's a heavy metal Friday. RJ the DJ, your suggestions. But now, we're going to go to the phone lines, bring in former 49ers All-Pro center and current CBS Sports Network analyst Randy Cross to the show. Randy, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate it.
So, Randy,
good hearing your name, Coach.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Listen, the best thing I know about you is you ended your career just in time before I got there. I didn't want to have to deal with you.
Thanks.
So, Randy, you still follow the NFL religiously like most former NFL stars. The Jaguars, the offensive line has been a major issue the last 2 years. Didn't really just tweaked it a little bit, I guess, in the offseason by adding Mitch Morse. What if you have the same personnel, as a guy who's been in the league and play on the offensive line, if you have the same personnel, how do you get better the following year?
Well, I think there's two ways of having a high-quality offensive line. And that means having one that can not only at times dominate, but more specifically and more importantly, they got to be able to function in your style of offense and do what you need them to do. And there's two ways of doing that. One is you draft it, and the other way is you coach them up. And I think if you look at some of the most successful teams, they have had offensive line coaches that were absolute magicians when it came to coaching people up and turning, some guys that were okay into guys that were really good in their system. And so that's why I always look when a new staff gets hired. That's the first place I look is O-line because, take, for instance, your division. Every team in that division at some point over the last X number of years has been sort of crappy. So that usually means you're going to get a high draft pick. And in this day and age, that means you're going to draft a quarterback. Well, that guy is going to get pummeled unless the coaches that come in decide, I'm going to hire an O-line coach that knows what he's doing and can mold some guys. Now, you can still draft them, and you can still, get lucky in free agency occasionally and get lucky low in the draft and get, somebody comes in and works out really well. But, the bottom line is you've got to have a coach at that position group that is really, really good and holds them to a meticulous set of standards.
Now, Randy, I agree with you, but with the new CBA, I mean, how can you listen? In our era, our coaches were able to assimilate. If we had any kind of miscue as far as running the football, there was inside run, there was middle drill, there was shoots, there was 5-man sled, there was 2-man sled. You had all these things that you could simulate toughness, but now these players don't want all that. None of those things that we did back in the day could you emphasize to make you tougher as an offensive lineman. So how do you do that with the limited resources that you're allowed to have as a coach when it comes to these.
Yeah, I mean I still think, Leon, the really good ones are going to find a way. Whether you're hitting a sled or blocking a bag, or in a non-contact drill, or just working on footwork, I just think it's something that you can develop. It's it's the sumo wrestling slash dancing bear sort of image that I think our linemen have these days. That doesn't universally go across the board. And some groups are kind of like that. They position block and they're never leaving their feet and they're always doing. But then you get a guy like Williams out in San Francisco and Summit Banks, some of those guys, and the way that they're playing, which is pretty opponent unfriendly. And that goes into part of how you have to play. You got to remember something really, in my mind, as an offensive lineman, and I know the way you played, you were very similar to that. You were not opponent friendly. You can be best of buds off the field, but I'm taking care of my guys, and that's an attitude that I think needs to, be a lot more prevalent on a lot more teams. Where, for instance, if I'm protecting Trevor Lawrence, you just ain't getting a shot, and if you get a shot, we're going to have a problem.
Randy, you played both guard and center. Can you kind of explain to the people the difference between those two positions?
Well, it started, Coach, in college. My senior year, I played on a UCLA team. We had 9 really good linemen. So we'd go 2 series with the first line, and on that line I was the right guard. And then the second line would come in, and I was a center on that line. And we just roll through the whole game like that, and running the ball as much as we did. We definitely wore some people's butts out doing that. And I think the most important thing, the biggest difference, is kind of the handicap nature of having to snap the ball. You got to have a quick left hand for starters, and you got to have a quicker right hand. And you're not by. And I've seen guys like Webster and Stevenson and a few other guys out there, even Kersey. I mean, not Kersey.
Kelsey.
Yeah. Kelsey up in Philly, that play with good leverage. Playing with good leverage is hard as a center. I think it's really hard in that center position. And your lower body and your core strength, I think, has to be even higher than at center than it has to be at guard.
So, Randy, I promise we're going to get to college football. One more question about the offensive line. So, there's so much focus now on tackles in football, specifically in college football and the NFL. But the middle three is so undervalued. Like, if you don't have that middle three set where those guys work in cohesion, it disrupts everything, does it not?
Well, I think the seminal moment on people, that light bulb going on, was when the Giants played the Patriots the first time in the Super Bowl and absolutely demolished the Pats in the A and B gaps. And, that was the center and guards, and that's where they got overwhelmed, and that's where Brady got that pressure. And there is not a tall, good-looking advertiser's dream playing quarterback that likes getting smacked in the face and getting smacked in the face quick through those A and B gaps. So I think that sort of speaks for itself as far as that importance. That's got to be your stalwart. That to me, you need more guards like Leon Searcy. You need more guys that can short set and pound people's butts and get that front of the pocket set so that when those tackles do let guys or ride guys around, quarterback needs somewhere to go. And if you get the A and B gaps threatened, he doesn't got anywhere to go.
I appreciate that, Randy. I really do appreciate it.
No problem.
Hey, I want to transition to college football real quick. So we got August 31st. We got the Miami Hurricanes versus the Florida Gators. I mean, how big a game is this for both coaching staffs and programs moving forward?
God, and how weird does that sound to say that? That, and it's sort of a true transition in the state, the way things have gone. I mean, I'm not sure if people what to expect out of the Gators. I mean, Napier's had a different type of team. What kind? How tough are these guys going to be? Miami, again, is going to be playing with a new quarterback, and he's got a lot of talent. We know that. We know he can throw the devil out of the ball. But, I don't know. I think for those teams, there's going to be some unbelievable heat for whichever coach doesn't win that game, because those are two alumni bases that don't take real kindly to being irrelevant, and especially in the state of Florida, where right now the Seminoles are sitting on top.
Let's get to your bailiwick out there and on the West Coast. What's going to get UCLA and SC back going?
The Bruins have got a real specific area where they're kind of lacking, and that's thanks to their last coach, who wasn't a big fan of A, physical football, or B, recruiting. And that's Chip Kelly.
That's not good.
And he's best suited now as an OC for the Ohio State Buckeyes. And that's, God bless him. I hope he got a lot of money, but I don't think UCLA will miss him 1 second.
Right.
I think that's what they're going to have to get tougher, and they're going to have to get tougher at the line of scrimmage. They've always had really good skill talent people, and they've put out a pretty good number of linebackers and edge rushers, stuff like that over the X number of years. But their line of scrimmage work has been pretty lacking. And if you're in the Big Ten and you're going against their Big Four, not to mention the Iowas and some of the other ones in that conference, you better be solid at the line of scrimmage or they're going to get you. And I think they're going to find that out. And I think SC's going to find that out, because SC's, again, they've done a better job, but they're nowhere near talented up front, as talented as teams like Michigan and Ohio State, Penn State. I mean, those guys are on a different level, and I think it'll be an education. Besides flying about 25,000 miles this year, I think they're going to be icing some bruises on the way back.
Well, I'll agree with you on one thing. I did consultant work out with USC, and too much finesse going on out there right now. You're right with Chip, and I'm not sure about who's at SC right now, but they're going to have to get back to some power football.
Well, Lincoln Riley's one of those, coach. He's one of those spread them out, Mike Leach.
Yep.
We'll take bigger splits, and maybe they'll miss the quarterback on the way by. But
right.
I'm
not sure what's going to happen out there in the Big Ten.
I'm with you, and I think the most impactful teams coming into the Big Ten are going to be Oregon and Washington.
Yeah.
SC, UCLA have the bigger names, but I think Oregon and Washington have the better programs.
All right, we're wrapping it up here with Randy Cross, former 49ers All-Pro center, current CBS Sports Network analyst. Randy, real quick, the pressure now on coaches at both levels, college football and the NFL, is just ridiculous. And I point to, Exhibit A right now in college football is Ryan Day. He's got a better career record than Kirby Smart. He's got he has the best record of any coach right now as far as career wins and losses. He's literally if you do not win the national championship season away from maybe getting fired at Ohio State. I mean, how ridiculous is that?
It's pretty ridiculous. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably 11. But, that's the reality of the game today. I mean, you can get irrelevant really fast. Ask Dabo Swinney. Dabo's standing by his guns on the whole transfer and everything else deal. And he's not real happy about what they're going to do with scholarships here in another year or so. But, it's kind of like the dinosaurs. You're going to adapt or you're going to die. And I think that's, for Ryan Day, there's only one way to adapt. It's absolutely a one-game season for him. His guys have got to be psyched out of their brains for that last one before the Big Ten championship game, and that's Michigan. You don't beat Michigan at Ohio State, or if you don't beat Ohio State at Michigan, that's Lloyd Carr. What's your real worth to them? Because that's the only game they really want to win. So that's where he gets all his heat from.
Randy, I've got one more for you. Obviously, you guys, when you were playing, you were the talk of your team at San Francisco was the talk of professional football. The Jaguars have brought in some guys that have been around winning programs and culture and that type of thing. Explain what it takes to be a Super Bowl football team.
Well, it's funny, Coach, because the first day Bill Walsh got there, I'll never forget his first speech, besides telling us all that, hey, you're all sitting there saying, I'll just outlast this guy. I've outlasted the last 3 or 4 coaches. And he told us all that if you can't play for me, this is the worst team in the league. Who the hell are you going to play for? But, his whole deal was everybody in the building has to be in the same page. And it sounds so simplistic, but it's really, really hard to do, from the person answering the phones to the one drawing up the game plans to the guy throwing the ball to the guy that's protecting. I mean, their only mission in life is winning. And that's the way it's got to be. And winning isn't just finishing above 500. Winning is winning everything. And it's a hard sort of, each your own environment, because it'll drive people out of the game. It'll burn people out. But that's got to be, to me, that's the only way to go. And when one season ends, don't want to see pictures, don't want to see rings, don't want to see nothing. Just you got to start completely over from scratch every single year. And that there alone can be the toughest things for many teams. But I would say if it was one thing, it was that everybody in the building, everybody in the organization, just obsessed with the one thing, and that's winning.
That's awesome. Randy, great stuff, man. Thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Randy.
Good talking to you, Coach.
Appreciate
all
it,
right,
Randy. You got it.
All right.
That was Randy Cross, former All-Pro, the San Francisco 49ers, and currently a CBS Sports analyst. I'll tell you what, I heard that last answer about, what it takes to be a championship team, and I heard what Leon's been saying all along. It's just mental toughness. It's physical toughness. It's you've got it. It's want, right? Leon, at the end of the day, like Les Miles used to always say this word, I have a team that wants it. And you got to want it, right?
Yeah. Listen, I tell people this all the time. Miami taught me how to be a champion. The reason why they taught me how to be a champion? Because each and every day we competed at everything. At everything. Weight room, lifting, bench, squat, curls, leg sled, on the field, conditioning, drills we did, one-on-ones. I mean, every day it was a competition. If you didn't bring your best, bro, you were replaced. You were absolutely replaced. You were fighting for positions each and every day in practice. That's a lot of pressure. But what Jimmy was doing was he was letting you know that Jimmy always said this. He always said that we play the games on Saturday, but we win the games in the offseason. And that's all we did, bro. We competed every day. Listen, I didn't feel comfortable with my position at Miami until my senior year. That's how it's supposed to be. Because you keep the pressure on yourself, and the guys behind you keep the pressure on you. And then the guys call you out if they feel like you're not living up to those standards.
You guys had that same culture with the Cowboys when he went to the NFL, right?
Yeah, we had, guys like Michael Irvin and those guys. It doesn't matter whether they were out in the club or what they were doing. They were thinking about winning football games, period. He used to be really good with the rookies out and about because he wanted to be able to call on them when the game was on, when it was time to get it done.
The trust factor.
And that's really what it's all about. And I'll tell you what, human beings that hear too much how good they are sometimes can slip into complacency. And that's why teams don't win back-to-back. That's why the Kansas City Chiefs, they've got a great culture going out there because it's almost impossible. They may win 3 in a row. That's hard to do now.
Yeah.
2 in a row is hard to do.
Matt,
1 in a row is hard to do.
1 in a row, but I mean the
Matt,
back-to-back.
Did you hear the conversation of Patrick Mahomes when they asked him about last year? They said that he was raring to go this year because he felt like last year's season, they didn't live up to their expectations offensively. He said, we got to have a better year than we had. Now, this is a man who just won a Super Bowl and said that we did not live up to the expectations of this team offensively, so I was raring to get back into camp because we're going to make improvements on ourselves. Who says that?
Yeah.
Man, I love that mindset, man.
Absolutely.
That mentally tough mindset is so awesome. All right, we're going to get deep into that human condition because we've talked about this before, and I want to get a little bit more into that as well as what we saw today at camp. It's XL Primetime.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. Now, a 1010 1010XL Summer Olympic Update. Brought to you by USAPark.net Airport Parking.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games, sponsored by Kohl's. Heading back to school, head back to Kohl's and Kohl's.com for great style and great prices. A burst of blue, white, and red smoke, the colors of the French flag, kicked off the opening ceremonies in Paris in the rain. More from correspondent Steve Futterman.
There has never been quite an opening ceremony like this. It's not taking place in a stadium, but it's taking place along a 3.7-mile stretch of the River Seine. We are here in an area just next to the Eiffel Tower. This is where the athletes will get off their boats and come on to a stage.
Team USA, as host of the next Summer Games in 2028, will be the penultimate country to sail down the Seine, with flag bearers LeBron James and Coco Gauff, followed by the host France. With this Summer Games update, I'm Brad Heller, Westwood One Sports.
Power comes in many forms. The beloved Power Nap, the enviable